What does that mean to you? Like, what is the importance or significance of Black History Month to Chief Potts?
It means a lot to me because I know I wouldn't be sitting here in this seat if it wasn't for a lot of people who came along before me to kind of pave the way for me. And, I once heard President Obama say, he said, change, you can't wait for anyone else to make change. You are who you're waiting on to make change. And I thought that was a very good quote. I know I couldn't be here without the help of a lot of people who preceded me. And I don't take that lightly. It's the first time that I've ever been in a position where I was actually the first of color in this position. So very proud of that, but I know I didn't do that by myself, and I couldn't do anything by myself. Good Lord placed people in your path to help you along the way, and I know I had a lot of help that came with that.
So is there any one particular person that you see as a role model for yourself, or somebody that you have seen as a mentor in the African American community in coming up in the ranks?
Lieutenant Charles Hall, he was a Tuskegee Airman. If you drive through Tinker Air Force Base, the air park is named after him. I'm real close with his family here. His daughters. I was in her wedding, Kelly Hall Jones' wedding. So we're like cousins. And it was a very inspiring. He died when I was young, but I remember hearing stories from Dolores telling me how it was hard on him because of the position he was in. But he knew he did it for a bigger cause, and it was bigger than him. And because of that, I always referred back to that when things got a little rough. I knew that it was people ahead of me that went through it. My dad was a World War II veteran. He used to tell me stories as well. So I could go on and on for hours of people who inspired me, but I know I don't have that much time. So.
Fair enough. So what does that mean to you to be the first African American Command Chief of the Oklahoma National Guard? Because with this being Black History Month, you yourself are part of history.
Well, first of all, I'm humbled to be here. I'm just an average guy with a simple message, and I'm very honored to sit here, and I want to represent well for all people, not just African Americans, but for all people. And I'm gonna do the best I can. I know it's challenging, but I'm gonna work hard at it because I know people are relying on me to help make change or to move this process forward. But we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go. Some people still see color. Some people don't. But hopefully the communication will get a little better, because if you don't, just because you look different from someone doesn't mean that they're not as qualified or not as good as you. But I believe in most cases it's because you don't really know them that won't allow them to have the door open for them. However, I think just continue communication, continue inclusion. That's the best we could do. But if you alienate any group, it's not gonna change. I'm just happy to be here. I'm glad that I am allowed to see a lot of change from just the time that I was young to now. And even when I'm not here, when I'm long gone, I expect and I hope that it would never be so different 50 years from now to where we actually have these conversations. It'd just be the norm, in other words. It's not a distinct difference, hopefully, down the road, because at some point you would think the world would be looked at differently. So I might not be here to see it, but hopefully my kids, my kids' kids, my nieces, my nephews, your kids will see a change where we won't have to have these discussions because we know it's just the norm. Yeah.